Is there a third option?
The public option.
Close acquaintance?
I don't know.
Oh, what up, you cozer? There it is. Now I
Ted
just need to
Jones
shave
is
it to make it
visiting
look
one of the
bigger.
laboratories at the City Health Department. His brother Frank has recently taken a position as a bacteriologist with the department. Ted seems to be having a little trouble.
Mostly in the bedroom.
Try using the fine adjustment knob. And do it more slowly.
I always adjust
You're
my
likely to
knob
miss the
slowly.
cells you're looking for, even though they may be there.
Okay, I'm trying. Say, here they are.
This is compelling.
The helicopter's night vision tracks the suspects as they run through this suburban neighborhood.
Here, look.
Good. You know what kind they are?
No. All I know is that they came out of that test tube that you gave
It's
me.
what came out of my body.
They're one of the kinds of bacteria that cause food to spoil.
Ted has just seen one of
Never
the
gets
many
old.
kinds of bacteria. Bacteria are found almost everywhere in our environment.
Especially in hotel
Some
comforters.
float around in the air. Some are in water or other liquids.
Well, the next thing you know, old Jed's a millionaire.
Still others
Kin
thrive in
folks
the
said,
soil.
"Get away from-"
Bacteria are plants, but they are not green like the plants we usually see. Some kinds are indispensable.
I knew it. It's a plant. All of it's a plant. What's next? We pre-record these, Theo.
For example, countless bacteria are at work in this clover field.
Oh, so we don't see the
They are
monster
growing
until
in
the
little
end.
nodules at the plant roots. Bacteria in these nodules take nitrogen from the air and change it into a form of plant food.
Look at the fingerprints on this guy.
Other kinds of bacteria are responsible
Robust.
for milk or cream becoming
There's a
sour,
whole subreddit devoted to this gif.
the development of flavor and other qualities in cheese, and the disintegration of dead plants and animals.
Oh, is this a Nine Inch
In
Nails
fact,
video?
The effects of bacteria are so important that life as we know it would be impossible without them. Most bacteria are friends of man. Some even produce chemicals called antibiotics that are used to help fight different diseases. Only a few kinds of bacteria cause disease. Probably the first person to observe bacteria was Anton van Leeuwenhoek, inventor of one of the first
Wow,
successful
he looks like
microscopes.
he's really
After
enjoying
looking
wearing
through his
that
crude
wig.
microscope, he made drawings of the microorganisms he saw.
And they all look
These
like
represented
dicks.
organisms from tartars scraped from his own teeth. In contrast, here, using a modern microscope, we see other microorganisms taken from tartar.
Oh god, I'm just gonna brush my teeth now.
After the time of Leeuwenhoek, generations were to pass before another achievement of great importance would be made in the study of bacteria.
Feel better?
It was the famed chemist Louis Pasteur of France who in the 1850s
Science!
proved that
It's
bacteria
poetry
cause
in
fermentation.
motion.
This explained many of the chemical changes that go on in nature. Pasteur also proved that bacteria never develop out of dead organic matter alone, as some people had believed. He emphasized that bacteria can only come from other bacteria.
And sometimes a microscope is just a microscope.
Soon afterward, it was found that bacteria can spread disease from a sick animal to a healthy animal. But this discovery was made by Koch, a German contemporary of Pasteur. This discovery is the basis of the germ theory of disease. Robert Koch and his assistants also
I
learned
prefer
to prepare
Mexican
and
Coke
use
or
nutrient
cherry Coke.
materials.
Oh yeah, that's the
Nutrient
Koch brothers,
materials
isn't
are
it?
usually jelly-like emulsions or fluids, which favor the growth of bacteria. Koch made other discoveries that helped lay the foundations of modern bacteriology. Since the time of Koch, much
The time
has
of
been learned,
Koch.
and
It's
many
my
other
early
kinds of
30s.
bacteria discovered. Today, if Ted
Forget I
could
said
collect
that.
all known kinds of bacteria, he would have thousands, and the facts that have been discovered about them are exceedingly numerous.
Okay,
He
slow down,
wonders how a
science
beginner
film.
can
Stop with
ever
all that
learn about
data.
So many kinds of bacteria. Frank explains that it takes a systematic approach. For example, bacteria may be separated into groups according to what they live upon, the nature of the food they require.
Oh, look, he's bullet journaling. Oh, I could watch Asian millennials do that for
Some
hours on
bacteria are
YouTube.
parasites,
So
others
specific.
saprophytes, and still others autotrophs.
Autotrophs wage their battle to destroy the evil forces of the
Parasites depend upon
Decepticons.
living plants or animals for food. Here are some parasitic bacteria.
Yep, I see
Most
Lindsey Graham, Mitch
bacteria that
McConnell,
cause
Ted
human
Cruz.
disease
Good one.
are parasitic. Saprophytes live upon dead plants or animals or their products. Saprophytic bacteria produce enzymes
I like how they
that
keep
cause the
showing
chemical
this,
breakdown
like we
call
could tell the
decay.
difference between the shaky
There are more
dots.
kinds of saprophytic bacteria than of any other type. Autotrophs get their energy from minerals or other inorganic materials. The autotrophic bacteria seen here live upon a form of iron. Through oxidation, they change one form of iron into another and use the energy that is released.
Autotrophs
Unlike the
roll
large
out.
majority of plants, most bacteria have no chlorophyll with which to manufacture food. Parasites, saprophytes, and autotrophs all take in food through their cell walls. To pass through these cell walls, the food must be soluble. In some instances, insoluble foods are converted into soluble materials by chemicals released by the bacteria themselves. All bacteria require soluble food to live. Ted thinks the information seems complicated, but Frank, speaking from experience, explains that the basic facts about bacteria are quite simple and very useful.
And if you're not already a
Besides facts about the
microbiologist,
food
you're a
getting
doo-doo
of
head.
bacteria, Frank describes another type of information that is especially useful in bacteriology.
I can't wait.
Depending upon the structure or shape of bacteria, there are four main kinds. The cocci that are round
Cocci?
like these
I hardly
that
even
are
know
common
why.
in the air.
So it's normal
The
for a
bacilli
cocci to
that are
be
rod-shaped
short
like
and
these
fat,
from
right?
gas
In my
gangrene.
experience, yeah.
The spirilla that are spiral like these
Sarsaparilla.
taken from a sample of well water. And the filamentous forms, such as these thread-like ones. Structure or shape is one of the principal characteristics used by bacteriologists to classify or identify different kinds of bacteria.
But they all look like dicks.
So far, yeah.
The life processes of bacteria are simple. We've already seen how bacteria obtain food. Now we will consider their reproduction, which takes place through simple division of the cells. In drawings, we can see that bacterium cells are continually growing. When a cell reaches maturity, it divides again.
Grease 2
It
reference.
goes on and on about
Look it
every
up.
half hour, as long as the food supply holds out, or until some unfavorable condition slows down or stops their development.
Like thinking
The
about how
reproduction
Jesus
rate
is
of
always
bacteria
watching
may
them.
be greatly affected by temperature. In a laboratory, the temperature can be controlled in an electric incubator.
Incubator,
As Frank
more like
explained,
stinkubator,
there's
am I
always a
right?
temperature that's best for
Anybody?
growing bacteria.
No?
Usually, this temperature is about 30 to 37 degrees centigrade. 37 degrees centigrade is about equal to the normal human body temperature.
Anyway, I keep my
In case
sandwiches
the
in here.
temperature is unfavorable,
rated body
some
temperature.
bacteria, especially the rod-like kinds, have a special means of protecting themselves. They do it by forming spores. Notice the spore forming in the center of one of these bacterium cells.
Girl, that's a booty hole.
Okay,
Some other kinds
so
of
when it's
bacteria
cold, the
form
rod
spores at the
shrinks.
ends
Am
of
I a
the rod
scientist now?
Instead of at the centers. Either way, a spore has a special wall around itself that seems to protect the bacterium inside from such adverse conditions as cold, heat, sunlight, or disinfectant. Later, when conditions improve, the spore may change back again into the rod-like bacterium. Not many
Nowadays, if my
disease-producing
spore
bacteria
turns
go
into a
through
rod, if I don't
spore
do
form.
something about it right away, whoop, right back to a spore.
Besides protective mechanisms, some bacteria are equipped to move about. The hair or whip-like parts attached to these bacterium cells are called flagella.
Flagella
Different
about it.
types of bacteria
Frank
have different
Langella?
types of flagella. Such flagella can be moved to propel a living bacterium through blood or other solutions.
Okay, so
Not
we just
all
pretend these
bacteria
little
have such
Cthulhu
means
aren't
of
in our blood
locomotion.
right now, right? Is that
That's what I'm doing.
Since the time of Leeuwenhoek, progress in bacteriology has been phenomenal.
And wig technology has
Successors
increased
such as
considerably.
Pasteur of France
not Pasteur of New Jersey?
and Koch of Germany have made discoveries and invented techniques indispensable in successfully preparing nutrient materials, growing cultures and subjecting the cultures to tests that help identify and classify bacteria.
And then bombing those cultures back to the Stone
Today,
Age.
in bacteriology laboratories, work is conducted that leads to the control of the relatively few bacteria that are foes of mankind, and to the more effective use
Welcome
of the
to America's
multitudes
Test
that are
Kitchen.
friends, in order to make human life more healthful and increase our standard of living.
Today, 1% of bacteria have more than the other 99% of bacteria. I'm asking for your help.